Hello everybody, how are you? This is me Anna and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to learn about the basics of English grammar. It's going to be a brief introduction to the English grammar and why is it important in our daily lives and why should we learn it. So the things that we are going to learn in this video are four. One is why should we learn grammar? Then the role of grammar in sentences, parts of speech, and some daily life examples. Okay, so now let's move towards our first topic, that why should we learn grammar? Why we should learn grammar? Now, this is the question that comes into your mind whenever you're learning a new language or even the language that you already know that is native to you, right? Whether it's English, Urdu, Hindi, whatever the language is, you need to learn its grammar. Why is it important to learn the grammar, right? Because in order to read, write, or speak English or any other language, one must know the correct method of sentence construction. Okay, how are you going to speak it? Whatever I'm speaking right now, this is basically why you are understanding it. Um it is creating a sense to you because I am using the words in a right manner. The order of the words that are used are in a correct manner. So um, in order to construct the sentence right, in order to make whatever talking, whatever you're writing understandable to the other person, you need to learn some rules. All right, so the language has rules, and those rules are known as the grammar. Okay, so that's is the reason that it is important for us to learn grammar of any language that we are going to learn. Now, I was talking about the sentence construction. I was talking about sentence, and you must be thinking that what is basically a sentence. So I'm gonna tell you briefly about what is a sentence. And a group of words that are used to express a thought, expression, or a question is called a sentence. All right, because whatever I'm speaking right now, whatever um, the things that I'm talking about, they are all forming a sentence. Okay, now, when we speak, read, or write, we use complete sentences. A complete sentence makes sense. Okay, whatever I'm talking right now, it's making sense to you. You are understanding it. If I am talking in a very incomplete manner, you might not be able to understand, because whatever is in your mind, whatever you're thinking, whatever you want to say to the other person doesn't know it. Okay, you have to um, put your thoughts into a group of words so that, and arrange them in such a manner so that the other person understands it well. Okay, now a sentence always starts with a capital letter. Okay, and it ends with a full stop. Okay, whenever you're beginning whenever you want to write a sentence, and all a new sentence always starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, and after a full stop, whatever the next letter you're going to write, it's going to start with a capital letter. Okay, and if it's a question, you're going to put a question mark at the end, or if it's an excitement or exclamatory remark, you're going to put an exclamation mark at the end. Okay, now talking about the use of grammar in sentences, um you have heard in my previous slide that I talked about that you have to arrange words in such a manner that it is understandable to the other person. Now here, what grammar plays role. Now, each sentence is made from a set of words belonging to the parts of speech. Now, whatever talking, whatever you're writing, this is all included in speech. So, the speech has 8 important parts, which all together, make a sentence into a sensible one. Okay, so talking about the parts of speech, there are 8 parts of speech. Okay, the speech is divided into 8 9 parts, but 8 are very common ones, so we're going to talk about that. Okay, now let's talk about the 8 parts of speech. So there are 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, interjection, and conjunction. I'm going to briefly explain each of these parts of speech and with the help of some examples. Okay, so now let's move further. The first part of speech we have here is noun. Now, what is a noun? Basically, noun is a word that names something, such as a person, animal, place, or a thing. Okay. In short, you can say that noun is a naming word. For example, Hazel. Hazel is a name of a person, right? So Hazel is a noun. Dubai. Dubai is a name of a place, so it's a noun. A shopping mall, it's kind of what a place is called. You are identifying a place where you go to shop. What this place is called? A shopping mall. All right. And for example, tiger is an animal, so it's a noun. Jug, it's a thing that you put water in, so it's a jug, it's a noun. All right. Whatever you name a thing, person, animal, or a place, it's known as a noun. Okay, so noun is a naming word. Now, coming towards another parts of speech, the second part of speech is called a pronoun. Now, what is a pronoun? Pronoun is very much similar to noun, but here a pronoun is a word that is used instead of a noun in a sentence. Okay, for example, if you're referring to Hazel in a sentence, that Hazel is a good girl, but in the second sentence, you're not gonna use the word Hazel again. You're gonna use a pronoun for her, right? So Hazel is a good girl. She studies in class 5. So the word she is used as a pronoun instead of using Hazel again and again in each of the sentence. Okay, so he, she, it, they, them, him, her. Such words are known as pronouns, words that are used instead of a noun in a sentence. Okay, so that's what a pronoun is. Now, talking about the third part of speech, which is verb. Now, what is a verb? Now, verb is basically is a word that describes action. For example, whatever you are doing, it the action that you are performing is basically a verb, like run, talk, walk, etc. So things like that, which shows that you're doing some action, it is known as a verb. For example, Hazel is eating food. Now, Hazel is a person who is doing something with the food. What is she doing? She's performing an action on the food. The action is eating. She is eating food. So, eating here is a verb. She's doing some action, right? Or, for example, um, I am going to school. I'm going to the school. Now, what I am doing is basically I'm going. So, the going is a verb that I'm performing some action towards the school because I'm going. So, what I'm doing is that I'm going to school. So, going here is a verb, right? Coming towards the next, which is adverb. Now, what is an adverb? An adverb tells us more about an adjective, a verb, or another adverb. It describes them. Okay, it it is very vaguely known if we are using the verb alone. Okay, so what the intensity, basically you can say that a adverb tells us about the intensity of the verb. It is describing the intensity of the action being done, right? For example, a cheetah runs very fast. Now, if we are writing a cheetah runs, okay, it is telling us that the cheetah is running, right? But very fast is an adverb here, and it is telling more about the speed. It is telling us more about the intensity of how the cheetah is running, right? So here, the very fast is telling us about the verb. Here, the adverb is very fast. Okay, or if we refer to the example that I told you in case of verb, that Hazel is eating food. So if I write it as Hazel is eating food slowly. So the word slowly is telling us about the speed of her action. That is, she's eating in a very slow manner. So so Hazel is eating food slowly. Okay. So slowly is an adverb in that case as well. Okay. Let's talk about another part of speech, which is the adjective. Now, what is an adjective? Now, adjective is a word that tells us more about a noun or a pronoun. It describes nouns. For example, the movie was funny. Now, it is telling us more about how the movie was. The movie is basically a noun, and what it was, how it was. It was funny, right? The second one is she is beautiful. Now, how is she? The uh, adjective beautiful here is describing that how the girl looks. She is beautiful. So, the beautiful is an adjective here. It is telling us more about her. Okay, and the movie was funny. Funny is an adjective which is telling us how the movie was, right? So, adjective here is a word that tells us more about or that describes a noun or a pronoun. Okay, that tells us more about it. It provides more information, just like in the case of verb and adverb. Adverb tells us more about the verb itself. Okay, it tells us more information, it describes it more, it provides further information about it. So similarly, adjective does the same for the noun or a pronoun. It tells us more about it. Okay, now let's talk about the preposition. Now, preposition tells us the relationship between the words in a sentence, or you can say that they join the different words together in a sentence. A preposition is used before a noun, a pronoun, or a gerund to show place, time, direction in a sentence. For example, in, at, on, about, to, for, from, etc. Right? So you must have heard these small words in a sentence. So let me give you an example. She is going to the school. Now here, she is going. Going is a gerund because it is a verb with an ing and it's known as a gerund. Alright? So, and I have written to. So a preposition is used after a verb. So to is a preposition. I am going to the school. To is a preposition. She is coming back from the office. Now, from is a preposition. If it was written as she's coming back the office, it's not going to make any sense. So, there is a link between a verb and the action that and a noun, right? So, to show the action between a verb and a noun, we have to use a preposition, right? So she is coming back from the office. The from is telling the relationship or it telling us more about what is happening between the verb and a noun, right? Now let's talk about conjunctions. Now, conjunctions are the words which join different words, statements, or group of words in a sentence together. Now, you may call them as the joining words. If you have two clauses or two statements and you want to join them together to create a full sentence with a proper meaning, you're going to use conjunctions for that. Okay. For example, and, because, therefore, yet, since, or, so, until are some examples of the conjunctions. Now, let's have a look at the three of these sentences to make you understand that how the conjunctions are used when joining these clauses, statements in a sentence. Now, first one, I cannot work because I'm tired. Now, here because is a conjunction that is joining two clauses together. Now, I cannot work is one clause and the other one is I am tired. Now, to link them together, because one is the reason why the person is not working. I cannot work is one clause and its reason why I'm not working is the reason is I'm tired. Now, to link them together, you're going to use the word because. Because is for the reasoning why the person cannot work, right? So in that case, we're going to use conjunction to link these two clauses together to create a sensible sentence with a proper meaning, right? So I cannot work because I'm tired. Okay. Now, second one, do not leave until I come back. Now, until is a conjunction here. The two clauses are do not leave, and the second one is I come back. Now, these two are incomplete, and to make them into a proper sentence, you have to use a conjunction to link these two together. So do not leave until I come back. Okay, now let's have a look at the third one. I bought apples and oranges. Now, and here is a conjunction. It's linking the list of the objects that the person has bought together, right? The I bought apples and oranges. I bought apples, oranges is not a proper sentence. Okay, you have to add a conjunction in order to separate the two nouns, like apples and oranges, because it's a list, and when there are items in a list, you have to put and before the last item in of the list in a sentence. Okay, so there it says I bought apples and oranges. Okay, now let's move towards the last part of speech, which is called interjection. Now, what is interjection? Interjection expresses strong emotions and often followed by an exclamation mark. For example, hooray, oops, phew. Okay, so basically interjections are the ones which show an expression, an excitement, anger, and they are often followed by the exclamation mark. For example, hooray, I passed my exams. Hooray with an exclamation mark is an interjection here. Hey, don't leave me. Hey is an interjection here. Okay, now let's have a look at some of the examples using the parts of speech. Now, first one is Jackson is walking to his school. Now let's identify the 8 parts of speech in the sentence. Now Jackson here is a noun. Okay, Jackson is the name of a person, so it's a noun. Is walking. Walking is something, is an action. Walking, this word is showing that the person is doing some action. So an action word is basically a verb. Okay, so walking is a verb. To is a preposition. His is a pronoun which is used instead of a noun, which is Jackson. Okay, school is also a noun. So Jackson is walking to his school. Jackson is a noun. Is a helping verb. Walking is a verb because Jackson is performing some action while going towards his school. So Jackson is walking. To is a preposition. His pronoun, school, noun. Okay, now let's have a look at another example. Monkeys can climb on the trees with their tails. Monkeys is a noun. Okay, it's a name of an animal. Monkeys can climb. Climb is a verb because it is showing some action. Okay, on is a preposition. The trees again is a noun because it's the name of a thing. Okay, trees. With is a preposition. There is a pronoun which is linking to the monkeys. Okay, monkey is a noun used in the sentence, so there basically refers to the monkeys. Tails is a noun. Okay, so I have explained all the 8 parts of speech in my video today, briefly though, and I'm going to make individual videos on each of these parts of speech in very much detail so you can understand each of them in a proper manner and according to the level of study. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that whenever I'm going to upload my next video, you're going to get notified about it. So meet you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye-bye.